heading on to the next map, of course, it is going to be Mirage, as previously mentioned. It is going to be CT side first for Gambit youngsters.
Yeah, I mean, don't you just love the underdog winning the battle against the Titan?
Who doesn't love a good underdog story? I mean, especially as a caster, that is the moments we strive for most of the time. So, and then finding that being a potential here is correct, I would say, yes. But at the same time, we have to be realistic, and odds are stacked against Ago's favor. But they do manage to find the plant. They do manage to find that first frag. So we'll see what they can do off of it. I mean, one return from the Fani, but that is pretty much it so far. As they will have 2 more members left. They're really going to be able to do too much free, respectively, for Ago. And this is going to be a pretty fast first-round win.
Yes, and it's all down to Inters to maybe get a couple of frags.
But he doesn't have the time. He just doesn't have the time.
And he will be taken down by MHL, and that's first round for Ago. A good start. And I must say, this is one of those maps that got changed recently. Adding that bench onto that mid area really helps out the T squad. When you're coming from that underpass area, or maybe when you have mid control, you can just easily jump onto that window area.
And I just love Mirage because when you look at the map, it seems so well balanced in terms of both sides, and that is primarily just why I absolutely love seeing teams play on it. And right now, Gambit, of course, they're still not done just yet. Exile's going to find one with the D. He still has, or rather, Shiro still has that scout available. Going to look to, actually, I think they boosted up. And we'll see what they can do off of it, because in the meantime, you need to look at the T side. They're not really quite too decisive as to what they're going to do. They're going more towards the middle right now, but Catwalk might be covered by Nafani.
Yeah, but look at Supra's position. He might catch Fiku off guard, but that's not going to be the case. Fiku bringing back to a 4v4 situation.
I mean, this should go in favor of Ago. They do have the weaponry to make it happen. And as a result, we'll see if Gambit youngsters, I mean, their best shot right now, I think, is to just delay them as much as possible to put them under a lot of pressure as they're creeping in towards that A site.
Yeah, but to be fair, Gambit youngsters did buy a Kevlar and Eagle, so it's still doable, in my opinion. But now the odds are slightly in favor of Ago.
Well, even though you say that, Fiku almost drops down. However, plant is going to be successful. As a result, we will have the smoke to go down. 2 Inters will finally fall. It's only Nafani now left with that Uzi. As we'll see, of course, or rather not with that Uzi. I don't know what that graphic showed me, the Uzi there for a sec, or the SMG, but I might be tripping. It's been a pretty long day, pretty long first matchup. Whereas right now it's Ago who find the win in the end. 2-0 lead here, and looking pretty good.
And now a full echo round from Gambit, because they did invest in Kevlar and Eagles that last round. So this should be, on paper, an easy round for Ago.
Should be indeed. They're still playing this one pretty safe. Trying to see what they're going to do, what they're going to go for here. As so far, they do have 2 members set up. Mostly, actually make that soon enough 4 around middle. Give or take, I mean, we do have, who's that? That's Furlan creeping up, finding one. That's going to be the first kill onto Exile. It does fall for his trouble, though. But MHL has something to say about that as he gets a quad for his team. Another round victory, has to be expected here for Ago.
Yes, but now Gambit youngsters on a buy round. Shiro with the op and 4 M4s. Let's see, can Gambit youngsters respond to Ago's blitz start?
It's interesting enough to see that they're mostly preferring that mid approach around cart, catwalk, even a little bit for even deeper down middle here for Ago, whereas Gambit youngsters so far not really able to respond too well against that. He's going to set up that nade. Not going to find too much in turns. Dropping pretty low, losing completely the rest of his HP there. As Furlan's going to find that one, but his position is somewhat known here. It's going to be down to Exile and what he can do. Not much is the answer. Furlan finds the second one. And even drops down. I mean, through Kitchen, there's nothing Nafani can really do.
Yeah, but look at Fiku's position. Will he catch Shiro off guard? And
yes,
that is the case. And now the B site is clear. And this is another round for Argo, I believe.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
it should be.
I mean,
Supra has to pull an ace, a literal ace out of his sleeves to clutch this.
unfortunately enough for him, I mean, around Palace, there's still Fico creeping by. He's waiting for his moment to strike. There's no way he doesn't have the advantage unless Supra gets the angle onto him. He knows there was somebody at Palace, so he's still waiting for it, and there it is. Finds the headshot. Very nicely done. Picks up that op. So if he can actually snatch that one away with the rest of the round, that would be pretty big. However, the rest of the team is rapidly approaching his position, meaning that Ago is going to take another round victory here.
And a nice start for Argo. Really spending those last couple of rounds on Dust 2 thinking about Mirage really is paying off.
Yeah, and again, I should just throw out all the research I did previously towards the tournament starting about these teams because it seems like it doesn't even matter. Now it's Ago playing really well here on Mirage. However, Gambit youngsters going to buy a couple of Kevlars and Deegs. We'll see what they can do with it. So far, not much. Seems like Ago kind of have their number.
Yeah, I mean, Argo is actually reading everything Gambit youngsters are trying to do. I mean, it is an echo round, to be fair, but still, a good read from Fico and a good read from Argo in general.
Another one bites the dust. That's Supra falling, and that means that A is completely open for the squad, as we will see them most likely approaching on towards it. Yep. Going through connector soon enough with the bomb. See two members, or rather one member here in Shiro, creeping nearby over to CT stairs, but I don't think he can do much off of it, even though we will eventually even have Exile come back in. Rotation coming in from Inters, but yeah, this is another win here for Ago, surely.
I mean, it is shaping up to be that way. It's a 3v5 situation, the bomb is planted, and no guns, no rifles for Gambit youngsters.
I mean, they don't even have a defusal kit at this point, so even if they make some miracle happen here, they're not going to have much time to work with for a round victory, so any pickings here is going to be what they're going to look out for instead. Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Clears it out, waits out, and at least gets a headshot onto Lemon. Beautifully done. So he will fall. I mean, Exile will manage to find out one before going down, but still, another round victory over to Ago, which means that, yes, now finally Gambit youngsters can go for another potential buy, but man, things are not looking too good for him.
I think this is the day where we just like throw all the research we have and just.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, just Argo starting off this match in a proper fashion, to say the least, like a 5-0 lead so far, and Gambit youngsters really don't have any solutions just yet. I mean, what do you think? Can Argo like maintain this momentum, or do you see them like slipping?
That's the thing. It's a good question, and considering the fact that we do finally have a buy round from Gambit, it probably is going to be off of the back of this one. This next round, if Gambit can finally bounce back, get back into their groove, say, okay, this is not completely over, we're not going to just get absolutely decimated on Mirage, that's where it's going to happen. That's where it's going to start. But if they lose this next round, considering it's, they're buying back into it, I don't know what they can do. Honestly, because it has to be devastating. Just thinking about it, if you're that team, it takes some very good, well-practiced composure to be able to be like, okay, we're like down, 8 rounds soon enough if they lose the next round, and we can still win this one. It's not easy. To keep that mentality up.
I mean, at least while the match is paused, maybe they can now maybe go over some new tactics, maybe even an aggressive approach. Although they are down the CT side, I think at least they can try for at least one round, one aggressive approach. I think that might pay off.
I mean, at this point, you kind of have to throw all the ideas at the board, kind of, because it's rapidly approaching to the mark where just nothing seems to work. So, as you said, maybe that aggressive style is what's going to pay off in the end. But even if they go for a more aggressive decision, do you think they should just go for the 50-50, like all in towards a single point? Do you think it can actually work on a map like a Mirage?
Maybe only if it's an echo round, because going in 50-50 while on a full buy, that generally
Yeah,
doesn't
it
look
doesn't
good.
make sense. But
It's even more riskier because if you miss the risky like approach, you're generally you done nothing. You lost a round for nothing.
and that is not something they can afford to do. That's the thing. They cannot afford to do just that right now, considering the fact that they are down. Or was that was that the fifth round?
Yeah, it's 5-0 for Argo.
Yeah, so 5-0 right now up against Ago. Ago really seemingly having their number. Just figure it out. I don't know. It's finally, though, the game is finally ready. And as a result, we'll see if that answers coming through. They will have that eureka moment here for Gambit youngsters. Very surprising turn of events, I'd say.
Yes, and in the meantime, Furlan pushed all the way up to that apartment area, but he gets taken down by Inters, and this approach from Argo might be fatal. What do you think?
Looking likely. I mean, I can't really say no to that, but as I say that, things are rapidly kind of going both, or rather back and forth. They did drop the bomb, though, so Gambit youngsters should have a sizable advantage. MHL, yes, he has that op potentially. He doesn't have it out just yet because he knows two members are creeping around that B spot. And if you're Ago, I don't know what they're going to do here. Are they actually going to commit for a potential attempt? We do still have Sydney with that AK-2.
Well, it's doable because it is a 2v2 situation. The only problem is they don't have the bomb. So they don't have the flexibility.
That's a pretty big problem.
Yeah, they can't just go like, okay, we're going to grab the bomb and then go A site. They have to go B. They have to take out both players. And speaking of which, MHL makes it a 1v1 situation.
I was just going to talk about how MHL in this situation, if you lose Sydney, I would be like, back off. All right, keep the op. You know, we have a good lead. Make it happen that way, but 15 seconds now left. Where is he going to drop into? He does get hurt off, and as a result, the spray is going to be successful. Interns is going to finally find the success here for Gambit youngsters, but still keeping it extremely close. I mean, that was very, very problematic for Gambit youngsters all of a sudden.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need to really adjust your tactics. You just need to wait for your opponent to make the mistake, and in this case, Gambit youngsters breaking the 5-round streak of Argo and now trailing by 4.
Well, to be fair, you know, dropping the bomb at B is just such a big disadvantage for Argo at that point that it did come down to some heroics out of MHL, and he came pretty close to pulling it off, to be fair. To his credit, he did have the bigger disadvantage, so making it that far is nothing short of impressive, of course. Can't really downplay that, but at the same time, Gambit youngsters finally bouncing back. We'll see what they can do now. Finding one onto Fiku, second one perhaps onto towards that target coming out of Palace. Not going to happen just yet, but dropping extremely low as Lemon, down to 13 HP.
Furlan gets a nice headshot onto Supra, but Shiro is quick to respond from the CT area. It was a good attempt from Argo. The smokes did came in properly, but Gambit youngsters superior with the aiming.
Well, that doesn't mean that Ago will at the very least still have a good choice here onto the A side. Not going to go for the plan just yet. They want to play this one out very patiently, but that is an option. And very safe play coming out of Gambit youngsters too, having Shiro set up still around B. Now finally going towards short eventually, but still baiting it out. And it's Ago kind of running out of time here. 28 seconds now.
They need to go for a bomb plant, and they need to go for it fast. Inters is gonna probably make a lot of problems coming from that CT area.
And it was Lemon that got the bomb and got the honors of dropping it down. And unfortunately, MHL, actually didn't lose any HP, as that would have been it for Gambit youngsters. Exactly the type of frag they needed, but in the end, it's Shiro who finds Sydney. However, the man advantage now is going to be equalized instead. As I say that, MHL finds another one, will fall. 1v1 situation. Lemon is extremely low, so Shiro, can he pull it off? No is the answer. He tried to go for some highlight plays, I would say there, but doesn't get it in the end. That's going to bring Argo to another round win.
Yeah, Argo quick to respond. I mean, it did seem like their round, since they did manage to get the bomb planted, and some superb aiming by Sydney. I think he got a double kill there, and that's what brought them the round. And now Gambit youngsters on an echo round, they need to save in order to heavily invest in the next round.
Investments will come soon enough. Eyes out for Forlan, see what he can do, as he is posted up pretty aggressively. Gonna be able to not quite find Shiro. Seems like he knows about his whereabouts. The info came through from his teammates, and as a result, they're looking to potentially go through the catwalk, through mid, onto short. Molotov even popping down. And again, it's all about what Gambit youngsters can get out of here. Anything whatsoever is somewhat of a small victory that they would look out for, because MHL is on a roll, finds two. Shiro finding one himself, but that is all it seems like. As I say that, Lemon did drop, and so did the bomb. So enters with that AK. He's gonna just go for the save instead. Gonna look to go into the apartments, perhaps.
Shiro did manage to catch someone off guard, because the molly did came in, but didn't quite catch Shiro, and that's why he managed to get one kill before getting taken out. And in the meantime, Argo did manage to recover the bomb, and now Inters is gonna probably go for the save.
And to be fair, yes, Gambit can buy a couple of goodies next round, but Argo still have a complete control of the situation. It's gonna be 7-1 as well. Just dire street for Gambit youngsters. And looking actually much more decisive than that first half in that previous round. To be fair, second half looked very, very decisive in favor of Gambit youngsters. So we'll see, of course, what will happen to enough. They're on the hunt, though. They're not just content with taking this bomb site. But yeah, even picking up some USPs, why not? And there it is. Bomb taken away. I go. Lot of victory. Looking good, looking sharp. And now as we will move on to this next round, I mean, Gambit the youngsters just seem to not have their number.
Look at MHL, already on 15 kills. He's the one who's actually standing out in Argo. And that's probably why he's using the op, to be fair. I mean, we did see like in the last match, like usually the player who starts the match off good usually is the one who gets the op.
And to be fair, I mean, he's the returning opper for this team, only at 17 years old. Really great potential in MHL here as a returning face. Previously it was mostly Furlan as of late, but now that will fall onto MHL as he's had an insane game of CSGO here on Mirage so far. 7-1 lead for his side.
Look at Exile. Look at Exile. I think he's gonna get the kill onto Furlan if he decides to lunge. That was close. That was close.
And Exile, close call, but not gonna happen this time around. Furlan's gonna back off too. Rotate back towards, more closely towards that A side for the T ramp. Whereas on the other side, they should be pretty well equipped to deal with the situation, I'd say, because they got theirs, they got those angles covered, and it's gonna be pretty tough for the side of Argo to make this one happen, I feel like.
Yeah, especially since there are no more smokes left for Argo, so they need to frag it out.
So far, maybe perhaps happening because AVHL finds Supra. That is, what, 16 kill so far of the match? So, rather of the map, I should say, match. Plenty more, but now the angle is good. Exile's going to find one, going to find two. Not before it gets answered by Lemon. One big one onto MHL. We've talked about this guy and how he has been fragging out, but this is going to be a 2-on-2, and all of a sudden looking much more realistic here for Argo, and they make it happen. Where, again, I think it's somewhat of just a faltering of this Gambit youngsters roster rather than Argo pulling through.
Yes, but we can't. We have to give credit where credit is due, because Lemon's positioning there was just. I mean, he provided a great cover for the player planting the bomb, because the Gambit youngsters decided to go for the push, but Lemon was just he was covering every angle, so that's why they won the round.
It's fair enough. Fair enough. As will have potential another actual similar approach here on towards that A side. However, with how there's currently split, B side could happen. MHL still fragging out. Good to see. However, finally will be answered by Nafani. Overall, 2 for 1.
And not looking too good for Nafani and Shiro because they died, and now the team doesn't have any
Yes,
ops.
that's pretty bad luck, usually. And no ops, no real weapons to deal with this too. Finally, as I say that, Supra will manage to find that one in particular, but even with it, Ago in control. Of course, I continue to curse them, as Supra will find one on Sydney with that up, and all of a sudden bring us to a free-on-free situation.
Yeah, but Supra is the only player left alive from Gambit youngsters with a weapon. Like Inters only has a Deagle and Exile only has a USP, and not much you can do with that.
There we go, Supra falling means even a worse situation here for the side of Gambit youngsters. If somehow Interns catches them off guard, maybe, but nope, it's Forlan who does so instead. And as a result, it's one final member here in Exile. He did not get spotted, but never mind. Drops down, gets him easily. Fiku with that one, and Ago now up 9-1.
I think Ago are starting to make a Mount Everest, another Mount Everest.
But on the other side.
Yeah. I think they're like, okay, we didn't manage to get onto Mount Everest. We're gonna make another Mount Everest.
We'll see if their opponents can climb it instead. Fair enough. I mean, so far, looking unlikely as it is all about Ago here on Mirage, and unfortunately for Gambit youngsters, time is rapidly running short for them. So we will have another buy round for them. And if this one falters, another one will most likely happen as a follow-up.
Yeah, and this time wisely Ago is not committing to any sites just yet. They are looking for some entry frags, which is important because now they're slowing the tempo and they might catch Gambit youngsters off guard.
Could happen. I mean, so far, it seems like some good potential utilities could be the deciding factor here, as we will have plenty of them left on both sides. As I say that, of course, MHL throwing away quite a couple on towards that A side, thinking about whether or not they want to go for it. And it seems like they will, at the very least, cut off a potential rotation coming out of short. And as a result, that might be the decision. Sydney finds that entry frag, as you talked about. Lemon finds another one. Will be retaliated by Interns. Catches MHL, but overall, man advantage in favor of Ago. Bomb side, or rather bomb onto the side, as it will be a 3 versus 2. Interns extremely low. Forlan will dropping pretty low too, but this is a big advantage for Ago. However, Shiro is not going to go down without a fight. Finds a 1 before he goes down himself. Interns, desperate attempt, 13 HP. Going more towards events, but yeah, this is another round most likely happening over to Ago, or rather going in favor of Ago.
Yeah, Inters is down to 13 HP. He has an M4, but there's nothing he can do.
This is just gonna...
I mean, he's just gonna save.
Keep it safe. Yep. Safekeeping.
And round number 10 going in Ago's favor. I mean, who would have thought?
Well, apparently with our prediction, it was most assuredly not us. As, again, stats sometimes may lie. And
now, finally, a tactical timeout for Gambit youngsters because they really need to switch their tactics.
I mean, we've talked about this particular saying last time, but is it too little, too late?
I mean, it's not yet too late. But when you reach that match point, then it's too little, too late.
You just have so much space to work with when you're at that point, right? Especially if you're heavily in the lead. If you're at match point, you can't afford to lose 4 or 5 in a row. Sometimes, like at this point, looking likely like an even bigger loss streak. So
I mean, when you reach match point, you just need to either make a good play or just wait for one mistake.
Yeah, that's also a fair point, yeah, because at that moment, when you're just such a heavy advantage, heavy lead, perhaps not even just making a good play, but rather waiting for one mistake is enough. And unfortunately for Gambit youngsters, that didn't seem to fully capitalize off of that timeout, as it is still 1-for-1 trade, so never mind. Lemon can drop pretty low too. Going to be taken out of the equation to top it all off, and as a result, Gambit youngsters maybe finally finding their footing into Mirage, but still not over just yet. Cannot ever count out OGA, especially with MHL up in hand. Scary as ever.
In the meantime, Fiku gets a nice double kill before getting down, and now it's all up to MHL, who can clutch it, but he doesn't have the bomb.
That's the problem. Gambit youngsters know where the bomb is, know where to defend. There are only 2 members. Yes, it's a scout and an AK, however, and as a result, MHL really needs to find those shots.
And this is going to be a problem. If he breaks that...
Yeah, there's no way they didn't know or wouldn't know. So.
Yep.
Oh, did he spot him out? No.
I think he's going to die.
Funny, though.
Risky, and didn't pay off. But still, it's an 8-round lead for Argo. Nothing too much changed. Let's see, can they quickly retaliate?
I mean, they still have the resources, to be fair. They do go for another buy round. They want to take another round here versus Gambit youngsters who have plenty in terms of their arsenal too. So it's not going to be made that much easier. They are going more heavily invested in towards that A side once more. Feels like so far going for T-ramp.
Shiro doesn't quite connect that shot onto Fulan, but Supra is quick to follow up, but it's falling apart. It's falling apart for Gambit youngsters.
And going for connector, that's 2 more members from Ago, means that it's big trouble for Gambit youngsters. They do still have 2 more members, and I'm not quite sure if they know where Supra is. They are aware that somebody's still somewhere creeping about, but as a result, I mean, if Inters holds out a good angle, this can still happen for Gambit, but okay, never mind. As I say that, of course, he gets heard out or spotted out by Fiku. Yes, Fiku gave away his position, but it's just down to Supra. It's a 1v3 so far, making it a 1v2, but
Smart.
They know where he is. They get the kill. And Ago pick up another round, bringing us to 11-2.
Quick retaliation. I mean, to be fair, if Supra managed to stay... Actually, it was Inters, right?
Yeah.
If Inters managed to stay like alive just a bit longer and then maybe peek at the right time, he would have caught them off guard, because you don't really check that corner first when you come onto that A-bomb site.
And now, unfortunately for the side of Gambit youngsters, before they're going to be swapping over sides, not too much left in terms of options. Ago's kind of running away with this one for the most part, and as a result, we'll see them actually go for a 2-2 split approach right now for apartments. I'm going to be Furlanda waiting for them.
Yeah, gets a nice wall bang there onto Inters. And, I mean, it is a neck round for Gambit youngsters, because they need to heavily invest in the last round of the first half. So if they manage to, like, maybe take down the opposing AWPer, that would be nice. Maybe deny them the AWP, or at least a rifle or 2.
Especially since MHL, for the most part, seems to be rotating through Catwalk in most rounds, or at the very least middle in general. So going for that approach might be the smart play here. However, so far, it's got to be a good shot onto Sydney. Lemon also falling, so making it a 3 versus 2 means that all of a sudden, maybe, just maybe, they can make it happen, but with MHL still on a rampage, it's made that much more difficult. Shiro, last man standing here for Gambit youngsters. He's going to try to make something happen, but smart, safe play coming out of Ago, taking that bomb more towards that A side. And it doesn't even matter. MHL spots him out. Shiro goes down.
I mean, it was a good round from Gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good
Given
positioning there.
circumstance.
Yeah, Exile especially with the Deagle. It was looking grim for Ago, but MHL, again, retaliating quickly. And now we're entering the last round of the first half. Let's see, can Gambit maybe get this round?
Well, they are going to be able to invest heavily into their weaponry. Plenty to work with so far, but spotted out for events means that he has to kind of back off. It's going to be Fiku who finds that first one. It's already a 5 versus 4. Nades flying by, but it's overall still going to go seemingly in favor of Ago, as it is favorable trade. 5v3, or rather 4v3 right now. Supra, I think they know an approximate of his whereabouts, but they don't know where Shiro's at, as he does manage to find that shot with the op.
But that's a nice kill, an important kill onto
Yes.
MHL.
Yep.
So now it's a 3v3 situation. The T's don't have the op, but Fiku with a nice kill.
Ooh.
Make that a double kill, and now Shiro needs to pull off
This kind of
a
play.
clutch. A clutch.
That's a
I
good
was
start.
about to say a miracle, but a clutch. Let's just stick with the clutch.
That is a good approach. That was the first one. Can he get more? That is the question. I mean, is that B side? Sydney is unfortunately going to be, for Gambit youngsters at the very least, unfortunately going to be in a pretty decent spot to deal with this as well. Lemon here. But as I say that, Chiro actually gets a ball bang, but not good enough. Not good enough. And Ago get another win.
And now Ago taking the game onto Gambit youngsters, who are trailing by, what's this, 11 rounds. An 11 round deficit.
Yep. Another Everest to climb, as said, as you mentioned. Not looking likely, unfortunately, for any Gambit fans out there. But
this is more like climbing out of the Mariana Trench, I believe, or the Grand Canyon, whatever you prefer most.
I think I like Grand Canyon, I'd say, in this situation. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll take that. Why not? But is this where Gambit says, okay, you know what, let's just think about Train?
It is possible. I mean, I don't know, but I think probably they're like, okay, we're gonna probably leave this map. I mean, they're not gonna give up. They're just gonna experiment more, and maybe they accidentally find a key. I mean, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Nothing's impossible. It's just really hard.
Look at those stats, though, for MHL. 22 kills to his name.
Yeah.
And what I like about him is the fact that his up play, outstanding. Wasn't too surprising, but his split decision making, swapping to those AKs when necessary, and just playing around the map beautifully, I think is definitely worthy of high praise.
Yeah, that is why he is standing out for Ago, definitely, as the first round of the second half is underway. And setting up for a rush B.
Classic. Ooh, classic strat here. However, so far it's not paying dividends for Gambit youngsters. As I say that, it will find one return kill, but overall the HP values are favoring the CT side. Retake could perhaps happen. They do still have one utility, whereas Inters will have one of his own.
Nice positioning there by Nafani, catching MHL off guard, and now a 4 versus 3 situation. Shots being traded. Exile manages to get the nice double kill, and it's all down to Fiku, who gets the kill, and it's a 1v1.
1v1 situation. I'm not sure if he even has enough time at this point to actually get the defusal. So he's just going to go for a potential kill instead. Gets the headshot. And 4 seconds, 3 seconds now with the defusal. It's going to be enough. And as a result, Ago clutched this one out.
I kind of didn't expect Ago to clutch this, but outstanding play from Ago to just, I mean, from Fiku especially. It's just superb positioning, and if he didn't hit that headshot, he probably wouldn't have enough time.
And right now, it is 1 round away from match point in favor of Ago, so we'll see whether or not at this time, with MHL still picking up that scout, it's going to be exactly the type of thing they're looking out for. I mean, heavy investment on towards that A side potentially here for Gambit youngsters.
I mean, it might pay off, but if they lose this, they're probably going to lose the second match, the second round, that is. And now shots are being traded, and it is a good trade for Gambit youngsters.
And the bomb will go through, or rather the plant will go through. Even if somehow Ago bring this one back, it's looking very unlikely. Nade is going to be it's going to have to be an excellent nade. It's not going to happen. Exile falls, but in the end, Gambit youngsters pick up another round win.
Okay, that risky approach paid off, but still, it's a tough mountain to climb.
I mean, to be fair though, this buys them enough breathing room in a sense, because now we will see Ago go for, an eco-type play for the most part. I mean, he has some deagles here and there, but MHL obviously the one to be saving up, as he has been the prime AWP player and on point when it comes to Mirage in particular. Not too surprising there, but this should once more go in favor of Gambit youngsters. But as I say that, of course, you never know. OGA has been the team to look out for here, seemingly.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, they're not gonna go for any aggressive plays just yet. They do know that OGA have no money. They're probably gonna go for an neck round. But still, interestingly enough, they aren't committing just yet. But look at OGA's repositioning.
Very smart adaptation. Definitely looking like they've read Gambit youngsters really, really well here. We'll see if it's going to pay off because, again, as you said, considering it's an eco round, it's not going to be made easy. But Fiku spawning out super first is going to be great. He finds a second kill, a second one onto Exile. He does go down, but that is a good trade. I'll take any day of the week. 2 for 2. Another one will go through for Nafani as he will eventually fall. MHL will so too. Last man standing here for Sydney. Can he make it happen? 2 HP only onto Shiro, so I would say it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's doable. If he manages to take down at least one player, preferably Inters, and then it's just one bullet for Shiro.
Oh, the nade read is not correct. I thought he actually spotted out Shiro there or knew his whereabouts, so a nade there would have been bigger. The read is not good, though, on his end, and I would expect this to rapidly go in favor of Gambit, but nope, not quite. Not committing there. Means that an AK is now available. He's going to try to go for the fake and force interns out, but I don't think he has enough time even if he gets it. So a kill is going to happen, but the round will still go over into Gambit youngster. Really well played, though, gotta say.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that he didn't connect the nade, but well played from OGA. And Gambit youngsters get another round. Not bad, but now we're gonna see a buy round for OGA.
Are we, though?
And no, we're not, because they are gonna save once again.
Seems like we'll have, at the very least, the AK, of course, available for Sydney. Keeps down one from the previous round. See what they're going to be able to do. I mean, it was very impressive. Even though it was eco, and they're going for the 50-50. Now gambling onto B. It's not going to happen. A open up for Gambit youngsters. Rotation finally going through for OGA, but probably going to be too little too late. We'll see. Yeah, Shiro finds the first one. Answers by Fiku, and Fiku has been the one to find those big deeks. However, Exile getting 2 of his own means that it's just 2 more members now left here for OGA. MHL falls, making us, or rather bringing us down to one last one in Furlan.
Yeah, and not much he can do, really.
Yeah.
That's a sneaky Zeus.
There's no way, I mean, there's no way you're not going to be able to win this one. Of course, here for Gambit youngsters, bringing us to a 5-14 eventually. Hippity-hopping his way for that AK. Hippity-hoppity. Your AK is now my property, seems like, as he will be able to grab that one into the next round. Going to be looking a little bit better for Gambit youngster, but again, that canyon still
and
tough
now,
one to climb out of.
Yeah, and now I can finally repeat the first sentence of the last round.
Yes.
We are going to see a buy round from OGA. And let's see if they can enter match point.
When we have MHL with the op, it's definitely a proposition that's looking very likely. But Gambit youngsters haven't disappointed so far with their T side. Only really losing that first round, which was the pistol round, winning all the other respective rounds. So we'll see if they can keep up this momentum, because OGA, I feel like they are the team to beat here right now. It seems like on Mirage respectively. So slow approach coming out of Gambit, but another potential A site.
Yeah, and a good read from OGA. 4 players watching that area, and a nice spray down by Fiku.
And I think when it comes down to the CT side, Fiku has been the standout player, even though I say that, of course, he's the one to fall next up. It's going to be Forlan who grabs 2. Can he grab the third one? Sprays are pretty good, but it's all down to Exile here for Gambit youngsters, and unfortunately, they don't even have that much money to work with in this next round, as we will most assuredly approach that match point.
I mean, Gambit youngsters really have a good approach, but Argo has an even better read. Like, Argo are just out-reading them on this map.
Yep.
In every aspect. And it's all down to Exile, who he has to save. There's no time, and Argo entering match point. Who would have thought?
Especially with this kind of lead. I mean, stats couldn't really dictate a different result, so right now match point will be acquired in favor of Argo. This is looking like we're going to hop over to train in a short period of time, especially since if you look at Gambit youngsters, last attempt here, not even going to be able to buy too many crazy things in their favor.
And here we go, match point for Argo.
Nafani straight up support, whereas MHL is going to be ready for them at the apartments. And is that the right read? Because so far, I mean, Gambit youngsters are kind of thinking about it.
But not a lot of utility for that B execute, only 2 smokes. 2 smokes, and that flash. That flash needs to be a well-timed one.
Well, they are looking at middle right now, which is pretty heavily covered. It's, again, only one member defending B for the side of Argo, and that is MHL. It is going to be Shiro first one to fall. That is not good for Gambit youngsters.
That's a crucial kill, taking down the AWP, and now the rest are retreating to maybe retrieve the AWP. Yes, that's the case.
But what are you going to do if you're Gambit youngsters? 54 seconds now down to the wire. Supra he sneaks his way by, and he definitely, yeah, I was going to say, Lemon definitely got hurt there as he did drop down. And will be taken care of. So 4 versus 4 situation here. Make it a little bit better. MHL finds another. Or rather, the first one of this particular round without AWP means that Exile is not going to be a factor any longer. And Gambit youngsters, not a lot of options left. 26 seconds on that timer.
Yeah, they're rotating towards that connector area. They're going to try an A-take. Let's see. Will it work though? Because Fulan and Fiku are already at that position.
He knows, he gets it. That's the first one, that's the second one. Supra finds one in return, but it does not matter. It's Argo who picks up the map win in the end.
I mean, what a map. I mean, who would have expected? I mean, in future games, we should just stop researching because you just can't know what's going to happen.
Especially since, I mean, Gambit looked so dominant in that second half of that first map. Would say, okay, you know, even if Argo somehow find somewhat of a strategy that could bring them the win, surely it's going to be a close one. Nope. Complete wash, completely in their favor. And now, as we will be moving on to train, this is going to be a matchup you don't want to miss out.